Did you know women are more likely to retreat from someone they deeply care about than someone they feel casual toward? That emotional intensity can trigger fear responses that look like disinterest, but they're anything but. That's why in today's video, we're breaking down 20 subtle but powerful signs she's scared that she loves you and afraid of commitment, even if she's not showing it the way you'd expect. Stick around because the final sign? It reveals the exact moment she realizes her feelings and panics. 1. She treats you like a secret hobby, not a public interest. There's something strange about how she interacts with you. She's warm in private, she flirts, she initiates conversation. You have these intimate little moments, ones that feel like something real is blooming. But when it comes to any kind of public acknowledgement, it's like you don't exist. No social tags, no "this is my friend," no signs to the outside world that you two even speak. At first, you might think she's just private, but pay attention. Is she private with everyone, or just with you? Because when a woman is falling for you but scared of what that love might mean, she often tucks you into a separate emotional drawer somewhere safe, where no one can ask questions, and she doesn't have to explain anything, not even to herself. It's not that she's ashamed of you, it's that going public makes it real. And if it's real, then she has to confront what she feels, and that's exactly what she's avoiding. 2. She over-intellectualizes her connection with you. You'll notice it in how she talks about the two of you. She might call you emotionally interesting, or joke that you're her favorite debate partner. She could compare your dynamic to characters in a TV show, or start conversations with hypothetical scenarios that weirdly resemble your exact situation. This is her way of staying above the feelings rather than in them. When a woman intellectualizes what you have, it's often because she's feeling something much deeper, but doesn't feel safe enough to admit it. So she builds a mental buffer between her heart and her mouth. It can sound playful, it can even sound thoughtful, but what it really is? Armor. Because analyzing a connection is easier than surrendering to one, and she's not ready to surrender yet. 3. She reacts coldly to things that would normally make someone jealous. Imagine you're texting her less for a few days, or maybe she sees you post a story with someone else. Instead of getting quiet or asking questions, she acts normal polite, maybe even too polite. She says things like, "That's nice," or throws out an emotionless thumbs up. It feels off, and that's because it is. See, when a woman is scared of her own feelings, she overcorrects. She doesn't want to look needy or invested, so she swings the other way, into emotional flatness. But here's the paradox. Her calmness isn't indifference, it's control. She's actively working not to feel. And when you challenge that control, even unintentionally, she doubles down on her mask. You'll notice it in the silence after the moment, the way she disappears or becomes emotionally distant. It's not that she didn't care, it's that caring scared her, so she hid. 4. She's emotionally available in group settings but distant in private. This one's confusing because it seems backward. Around friends, she's relaxed, joking with you, making eye contact, maybe even flirting a bit. But the second it's just the two of you, her energy shifts. She becomes quieter, distracted, less responsive. You might think she's just tired or moody, but look closer. In public, the emotional risk is low. You're part of a group dynamic. Nothing needs to be defined. But in private, things feel more intimate. And that intimacy, that's what scares her. When it's just the two of you, there's no buffer, no social script to hide behind. And that's when her guard goes up, because deep down, she knows what she feels. And being alone with you makes it harder to pretend she doesn't. 5. She remembers obscure, specific things you've said, then acts like they mean nothing. You'll mention once that you hate pickles on burgers. Weeks later, she brings you food, and magically no pickles. Or you'll offhandedly mention your sister's birthday, and she texts you that morning to ask how the party went. But then, if you ask her about it, she shrugs it off. "Oh, I just remembered," she says casually. No big deal. But it is a big deal. People don't remember random details unless they're emotionally invested. Her brain is tagging your words as important, even if she won't admit why the fact that she goes out of her way to not make a big deal of it. That's the giveaway. She's trying not to show her hand, because if she lets herself care, then she has to deal with what that means. 6. She finds reasons to challenge you intellectually. It starts small. She teases your opinions, debates you on niche topics, playfully contradicts things you say, but then it escalates. She pushes harder, almost like she needs to prove something. This isn't just flirtatious banter. It's a power move. When a woman is afraid of falling for someone, she may subconsciously try to reestablish control, especially if the emotional current is pulling her in deeper than she wants. By challenging you, she's proving to herself that she's still above it, that she's not losing herself, that she can keep this dynamic fun and safe and not dangerously real. But the tension is always there. Beneath the sarcasm, beneath the jokes, it's not about the topic, It's about the spark she's trying to contain. 7. She gives you emotional intimacy, then immediately self-sabotages it. You're having a deep conversation. She opens up, talks about her childhood, her fears, her dreams. It feels real, like the wall finally came down. But the next time you talk, she's cold, dismissive. Maybe she ghosts you for a few days. Maybe she mocks what she said before. This is classic vulnerability recoil. When someone who's emotionally guarded gives too much, too fast, it triggers panic. Like, oh no, what did I just reveal? And that panic leads to self-sabotage, pulling away, saying something hurtful, acting indifferent. It's not because she didn't mean what she said, it's because she did, and that terrifies her. 8. She mocks or belittles relationship people. You'll hear it in her voice when she talks about her friend's new boyfriend, or when someone posts a sappy couple photo on Instagram. Ugh, gross, she says, or they'll break up in 6 months. It sounds like casual cynicism, but it's loaded. She's not really angry at them. She's projecting her fear of vulnerability onto them. By mocking others who are in love or committed, she reinforces her own emotional safety net. I don't need that, I'm fine. But here's what gives her away. She talks about it too much, brings up those relationships too often, like a scab she keeps picking at. Because deep down, she wants it, but wanting it makes her feel weak, so she mocks it instead. 9. She mirrors your language but not your energy. She texts you using your exact phrases. She starts saying things the way you do, picks up your favorite slang or emojis. You feel this sense of synchronicity, like she's in tune with you. But then, her emotional energy doesn't match. Her responses are flat. Her engagement is low. It's like she's copying the form of connection, but not the feeling. This is emotional mimicry. It's common in people who want closeness, but are scared of what that closeness demands. She wants to be near you, but not so near that she loses control, so she mirrors your surface, not your depth. It's not manipulation, it's fear. 10. She seeks physical closeness but avoids eye contact during vulnerable moments. She'll sit close. Her leg will brush yours. She won't pull away when you hug. Physical closeness? That's not the issue. In fact, she might prefer it because physicality is easier to control than emotion. But when the topic turns serious, feelings, family, anything that reveals emotional depth, she looks away, fidgets, suddenly becomes distracted. Her body stays close, but her eyes retreat. Eye contact is intimacy. It forces presence. And when she's afraid of her own feelings, she can't hold that gaze. Not for long. Not without revealing more than she's ready to. Before we move on, if you're watching this with the mindset of learning and leading, type tuned in down below. Let's see who's actually paying attention to the details that matter. 11. She initiates contact but frames it as accidental. There's a message from her on a random Tuesday afternoon. It says something like, "Oops, meant to send that to someone else." Or, "Hey, do you remember the name of that weird movie you mentioned?" Nothing intense, nothing emotional, just light, casual, unassuming. But it happens again and again. What you're seeing isn't a coincidence. It's a disguised emotional bid. She wants connection, but fear won't let her reach for it directly. So instead, she wraps it in plausible deniability. That way, if you don't respond how she hoped, she can backpedal. Didn't mean anything by it. This is how women who are afraid of commitment still keep a line open. It's not about the message itself. It's about staying emotionally close while pretending they're not. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice the timing. It usually follows a moment of distance between you, or after she's felt emotionally exposed. That's when she sends the accidental message, to reestablish proximity without vulnerability. 12. She tells you about other guys, not to make you jealous, but to test your detachment. You're talking, and suddenly she brings up someone she went on a date with, or casually mentions that a guy at the gym asked for her number. She doesn't linger on it, doesn't hype it, just drops it in and moves on. It's not bragging, and it's not flirtation. It's a test. A woman who's falling for you but afraid of what that means often needs reassurance that you're more emotionally involved than she is. So she creates these subtle stress tests, quiet little grenades to gauge your reaction. Do you flinch? Change tone? Pull back? If you show jealousy, it's confirmation for her. If you don't react at all, she spirals, wondering if she's the only one feeling something real. It's twisted logic, but common. Fear of commitment doesn't mean a lack of feeling. It means needing constant proof that the other person is deeper in, because if they're not, the whole thing feels too risky to pursue. 13. She suddenly becomes busy when things feel emotionally intense. You just had a conversation that felt deep. She laughed harder than usual, or maybe she opened up, or you did. Either way, the vibe shifted. Something real passed between you. And then, she vanishes. Plans get pushed. Messages go unanswered for longer. She becomes swamped with work or not feeling social. This isn't her calendar talking. It's her anxiety. Emotional closeness acts like a trigger for someone who's scared of commitment. It activates the part of her brain that goes, too much, too fast, run. But instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, she says, I'm busy. Because busyness is a socially acceptable shield. No one questions it. It gives her a reason to retreat, without having to explain the emotional undercurrent behind it. If this happens repeatedly, closeness followed by distance, it's not about time, it's about fear. 14. She flirts harder after you emotionally pull away. There's been some distance between you. Maybe you got tired of chasing. Maybe you pulled back, subtly, without drama. And suddenly, she's back in your inbox joking more, laughing at everything, more playful, more available. You didn't imagine the shift. She feels your absence. A woman afraid of love often feels safest when you're less available. When you're leaning in, she panics. But when you lean out, that's when she feels in control again, and safe enough to pursue. So what looks like hot and cold behavior is really just a cycle of emotional self-protection. She flirts harder not because she's manipulative, but because she needs the emotional dynamic to be one where she's not the most vulnerable one. And once you lean back in, that energy often fades again. Not because it wasn't real, but because closeness still feels dangerous to her. 15. She gives you nicknames or inside jokes, but resists any serious labels. You're not her boyfriend, not even someone she's seeing, but she calls you trouble, or my favorite human, or some playful nickname that no one else gets. You have inside jokes, shared references, a whole little emotional language that lives only between you, but ask her to define what you are. Suddenly she's cagey, dismissive. I don't want to overthink it, she'll say. Let's not label things. This is closeness without commitment, connection without clarity. Nicknames are emotionally loaded. She uses them because she does feel something, but she wraps those feelings in humor or irony, so they can't be held against her labels. On the other hand, demand accountability. And for someone afraid of love, that's the scariest thing of all. So she'll build a whole intimate world with you, as long as it doesn't have to be real in a way that makes her vulnerable. 16. She apologizes for being weird or off more than usual. She sends a weird message, or acts cold out of nowhere, or cancels last minute. Then later, sometimes hours, sometimes days, she texts, sorry, I was just in a weird mood. It seems simple, but if it happens often, it's not just moodiness. It's emotional conflict. She knows she's acting inconsistently, and part of her feels bad for it, but she doesn't want to explain the real reason, because the real reason is messy. I'm scared of how much I like you isn't something people usually say out loud. So instead, she offers the vague apology. Not for you, but for her own conscience. It's her way of saying, I feel something, and I don't know how to handle it, so I'm making a mess. Please don't take it personally. When you see this pattern, affection followed by withdrawal, followed by vague apologies, you're not imagining it. You're watching someone try to self-regulate feelings that scare them. 17. She likes vulnerable posts or relationship content, but never talks about it. You post something raw, about trust or love, or being emotionally open. She likes it, maybe even adds a heart reaction. But when you try to bring it up, crickets. Or maybe she shares content on her own, quotes about healing, intimacy, emotional walls. But if you reference it later, she shrugs. Just thought it was cute. This is emotional signaling in disguise. She relates to what's being said. She sees herself in it. But instead of starting a conversation, she engages from a distance. Because talking about it means admitting something. And that's the line she's not ready to cross. In digital spaces, this is how emotionally avoidant people speak. Quietly, indirectly, and through borrowed language. You'll see what she's afraid to say, in the things she double taps but never discusses. 18. She shares hypothetical future plans, but keeps you just outside them. You're talking about the future. She mentions cities she wants to move to, places she wants to travel, career goals, lifestyle dreams. But something's off. None of it includes you. She's not cold about it. In fact, she might even light up while talking about it. But she never says we, never imagines you in the picture. This isn't because she doesn't like you. It's because imagining a future with you triggers the part of her that fears losing control. The part that says, if I start planning with him, I'll have to admit this is real. So instead, she dreams around you, creates distance without confrontation. That way, she doesn't have to face the emotional weight of what's building between you. It's not rejection, it's self-preservation, designed to help her feel like she's still safe from the pull of love. 19. She introduces ambiguity on purpose. She'll say things like, you're trouble, or you're too charming for your own good, or this is fun, but dangerous. Her words are laced with tension, playful on the surface, emotionally loaded underneath. What she's doing is sending mixed signals on purpose. Ambiguity gives her control. It lets her express interest without committing to it. It keeps the door open for connection while leaving plenty of room to run if she feels too exposed. And yes, part of her wants you to clarify things, to name it, to make it real. But if you try, she might flinch, because her words are a safety net, not an invitation. Watch how often she flirts in ways that never quite resolve into clarity. That's not just flirting. That's emotional conflict hiding behind irony. 20. She seems comfortable until you open up. Then she pulls away. This is the final and often most telling sign. You decide to be brave. You express how you feel. Maybe you tell her you like her, or that you feel something real between you. You expect it to bring you closer. Instead, she freezes. Or she distances herself. Sometimes emotionally, sometimes physically. It doesn't mean you were wrong. It doesn't mean she doesn't feel it too. In fact, the pullback often proves she does. A woman who's afraid of commitment isn't scared of being liked. She's scared of having to respond to it, of being vulnerable back, of the emotional exposure that comes with mutuality. So when you open your heart, her panic rises, and her instinct, one that may have protected her for years, is to retreat. The irony? That moment is often when she realizes just how much you mean to her. But her fear speaks louder than her feelings, at least for now. Up next, discover how to tell if she's turned on by you, or learn what women do when missing you. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.